Hello, welcome to today's lesson. In this video, we are going to study some English grammar, in particular active voice and passive voice. And in this lesson, you will learn what it looks like, why it is useful, and you will practice using it with me. So, why should we use passive voice? When and how should we use passive voice in preference to the active voice? There are a few reasons for using passive voice, and reasons such as situations where we don't know who the agent is. For example, let's imagine for a moment that your phone has been stolen and you don't care who stole it because you only care that your phone was stolen. And then when you report this to the police, you tell them that your phone was stolen instead of saying somebody stole my mobile phone in the restaurant. Another situation might be when it is obvious to the listener or reader who the agent is. For example, we all know that our mother gave birth to us. So instead of saying my mother gave birth to me in 1985, we simply say I was born in 1985. And again, another situation can be when it is not important to know who the agent is. This time we actually know who the subject is, but it's not important to mention it. For example, let's check that example sentence here. David Scott established his company 20 years ago. If you're not interested who established the company and we just want to focus on how old the company is, we can simply say this company was established in 1985. And by doing this, we change the focus of our sentence. Also, very often we can see passive form in reports of crimes or legal procedures, in newspaper reports, in scientific writings, in announcements, and in notices, because it sounds formal and impersonal. So, okay, we have learned why we use the passive voice and in what kind of situations we use it. Now we will look at the structure of the passive sentences. So, how do we make a passive sentence? The passive is formed with the verb to be, but in the appropriate tenses. Plus, we use past participle of the main verb. Let's read some examples here. The terrorist was arrested early this morning, and Toyota cars are made in Japan. A new class representative will be chosen on Monday. So to make a passive sentence, there are some basic rules or there are some steps that we need to follow. And the first step is identify the object of the active sentence and place it at the beginning of the passive sentence. So let's check the example here. We have an active sentence and let's read it. The postman delivers the letters at 9. So as you know, most English sentences begin with the subject and then it continues with a verb and it continues with an object. But to make a passive sentence, we need to reverse that structure. So this time, we need to start the sentence with the object. So here, our object is the letters, as you see here. And step 2, identify the tense of the active verb and put the verb to be into the same tense. So again, let's check the example here and read it. The postman delivers the letters. So our sentence is in the present simple form. So we're gonna use present simple form of be, which is are, because our object here is plural. And step 3 is turn the main active verb into the past participle form. So here the main verb is delivers, is in the simple present form. So we're gonna use a past participle form of deliver, which is delivered. So we are going to make some sentences together, but now I want to review the verb to be with you. And let's review the table here. Here is the list of sentences for verb to be. For passive tenses, we need to use, verb to be, and for present simple, we are using am, is, and are. And for the present continuous tense, we are using am, is, are, plus we are using a being. And for the present perfect tense, we're using have been and has been. And of course, that depends on the object. If the object is plural, then we're using have been. And if it is singular, then we are using has been. And in the simple past, we're using was and were. For the past continuous tense, we are using was, were, plus we're using been again. And in the past perfect tense, we're using had been. And for the future tense, will and be. And same with modals. Can be, would be, should be, maybe, or must be. Plus, we're gonna use past participle of the main verb. Okay, we learned how to make a passive sentence. Let's do some exercises. And we have here 4 active sentences, and we are going to turn the sentences into passive form. Let's begin with the first sentence. Let's read the active sentence first. The police arrested the suspect late last night. So let's analyze the structure of the active sentence. The police here is the subject, and arrest is the verb, and the suspect is the object. This is a very short and simple sentence, but as you know, most English sentences can be much more complicated than this and can be much longer than this. So if you have any difficulty finding the object, then I would recommend you to check the verb first, because the object is placed just next to the verb. So let's begin our sentence with the object, the suspect. Okay. The second step is, identify the tense, and our tense here is in the past form. So we're gonna use be form of simple past. It is was or were, and we're gonna use was because it is singular this time. Was, and then past participle form of the main verb, which is arrested. Yeah, easy. Okay, and the second sentence, Sarah writes a letter every day. So first, we're going to find the object. And what is the object? So Sarah writes a letter, and Sarah does what? So he writes a letter. So the letter is the object. So we're going to start our passive sentence with the object. A letter, then let's identify the tense, and it is in simple present form. So we're going to use, be. That can be am, is, or are. And we're going to use is because we have only one letter. A letter is an past participle form of write, which is written. And the third sentence is they are reading a report now. So the object is a report, and the tense is present continuous tense. So let's begin. A report. And for present continuous, we're going to use is and being. Being indicates that this is a present continuous form. And read. Now, okay. They will take him to court later today. So this time, what is the object? It's a person. Him here is the object. So we're gonna start the sentence with him. He. So this is the future form. So we're gonna use future form of passive. He will be taken to court later today. So that concludes our lesson for today, but before you go, there is an exercise for you to complete, and this is going to be your homework. I want you to change the active sentences into passive sentences. Thank you very much for listening and watching this video with me. See you, bye.